let's get started. This week's featured carrier in the last half hour postponed. First time that's ever happened to me in 33 years. Aetna was our featured carrier, and they've had some internal hierarchy issues or whatever. I don't have all the facts yet, but they postponed. So, but they had already set up a separate product training webinar, and they're still going to go through with that. And I'll share those dates and links with you here as the call goes forward. But we'll have a shorter call now because we won't be having Aetna on as our special guest, which we were all looking forward to, as I expect Aetna to be one of our largest, if not the largest, carrier as we move forward with our extended care campaign. We're going to talk about the other carriers, make sure that you're appointed with all the other ones that are in our channel. We'll give you some carrier updates, and then I'm going to share with you our strategic partners. Actually, I'm going to move the strategic partners up because I have someone on the phone who's going to actually speak with you, and I don't want to keep him longer than we have to, but as a strategic partner, it's important you hear from him. And then some observations from the field, and then a little thing I call focus. Okay, let's get started. After Aetna, I would have shown you this. This is a newsletter that they send out. It comes out once a month. It's called the Pace Setter. And I attached it. I don't know if you're getting it, if everyone's getting it, but I didn't want you to not see it because there's lots of helpful things within this newsletter. So make sure you open it. And then every week they send out another newsletter called The Beat. And it seems like almost all the extended care companies have gone to this format of sending out a monthly newsletter and a weekly newsletter. So I wanted you to see both are attached, which will come to you with the recording. And again, both have links in them that take you to pages that show you all their brochures and all their support material and everything else. So you should keep them handy. These, as a reminder, are all the companies you should be appointed with NAIS to make sure that you're eligible for all the different programs that we're putting together in lead generation and in other support methods, contests, and all kinds of other things. These are the companies that are under the supplemental channel. So if you haven't already gotten appointed with us through these 7-8 carriers, please go to the NAIS portal, go to where it says Get Contracted, and request your appointment with these carriers. Okay? Now, if you have any problem whatsoever, or if you're trying to get it all done at once, call Amy. If you call Amy, she'll walk you through the whole process and get it all done for you. She's been very efficient with everybody that she's worked with. So call Amy or email Amy and tell her that you need help in getting appointed with whoever you're not appointed with, and they'll get that done. Okay, so I moved the strategic partners up. Last week, I shared with you 3 of our strategic partners, and some of you made some calls. Hopefully you followed up with Claude Thal and getting that free website and the Stratecision program and the underwriting program and stuff. If you haven't, please, I encourage you to do so. This week, I want to talk to you about 3 additional strategic partners. The first one is Concourse Financial, who you're going to hear from in a second. And then we have a relationship with Harry and David that I want to tell you about. That saves you some real money if you want to send anything to clients or to people that you do business with. And then Aegis, which is our broker for website or worksite business. All right, so let's start. Phil, you there? Can we hear you? Phil?
I am.
There you are. And there you are. There's your picture as well. All right. So Phil was on our call about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and I've asked him to come back because he's our newest strategic partner. Phil works with an agency, Concourse, that has developed a real niche of understanding the hybrid business, the hybrid long-term care business, and other LTC solutions, but specifically the hybrids are where their strength is. Last week, Abe Grunwald, one of our agents, worked with Phil, and he ended up selling a case for a hybrid carrier, and the case placed. And again, we had to go through an appointment process. Nationwide, allows, and most of the hybrids allow for dual appointments. So if you're going to take advantage of the services that Phil uses, and Abe says he was very important to him in helping him make the sale, then you're going to have to get dual appointed through Phil's agency as well, so that they can be part of the case. Nothing reduces your comp. All the comp that comes to Phil and to us comes out of the overrides from the carrier. Nothing impacts what you get. So you're getting the same comp. You're not taking a haircut if you work with Phil. But I want you to see his information, and I wanted you to hear from him. So Philip, why don't you tell him a little bit more about the expertise and the art of what you do?
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah, the relationship's been starting out really well so far. Had a handful of conversations and been able to quote some business here in the last couple weeks. So, Mark's point was important. Where we're really trying to focus in on is looking at this as the long-term care, the hybrid space. It's a part of a planning component, and where we really specialize in is sitting down and having a conversation with either you or the client or a combination of the two, and finding out what the specific needs, goals, and directions are. And then we have multiple resources to help pinpoint what is the best option. So, whether it's helping you with some sale assistance as far as asking questions, giving you some information to come forward with and kind of filter down. But we don't want to put square pegs in round holes and round pegs in square holes. We want to make sure we're getting the right solution and presenting it. And at that point, I don't want to say it sells itself, but it's quite simple to it's much easier to place a solution when it makes sense and identifies the problem. So Abe and I had an opportunity to go through a couple different cases, had some other phone calls that we're still working on. So, and it's gone really, really well. There's a lot of knowledge base. We've got a lot of resources that are available. So the one thing that we have to do is, and it's a huge benefit to you guys, and to Mark's point, the comp is the same. So regardless of, who you run it through, you will make the same compensation. We do actually have incentive trips and things like that in addition to the compensation. So if you have a really good year, you could find yourself going on a nice trip through Concourse. But when the time comes to write the business, it's imperative that we get you contracted through us. It's a very, very simple process. Mark, I've sent you a copy of it as well. It's all online. It's digital. A lot of stuff we pull is from the NAIC and NIPR. So a lot of the information that we already need is already going to be out there. It's just a matter of you going in and getting appointed. So, and then lastly, what we do is we've got more than just a couple carriers. We have several carriers that are out in that marketplace. And my internal Jenna Bennett, if you come to us with either a daily, with an amount that you're looking for or a budget amount, we have a template that will find what's the biggest bang for the buck. So client come to us and say, client wants to spend $500 a month, and we've got a turnkey system that'll show, well, if we go with Lincoln or One America or Nationwide, whoever it is, that's going to give you the biggest bang for your buck. So we continue to develop those resources. We want to support and make your job a lot easier. And a lot of those just come with having that conversation. So like I said, you guys have my information here. Love to have a communication with you, have a talk with you as far as like opportunities with the client. And then when it comes time to taking the app, before we hit the submit button, we want to make sure you've got it set up. And lastly, access through us gives you access to our online system, and we have a dedicated case manager. So you would log into concourse.financial.com, you would file an application electronically. It's electronic signatures. You can email it to the client, and then we have a dedicated case manager that's going to usher that case from submit to issue, and you really kind of have some hands-off situation there from your standpoint. So we communicate with the carrier, we communicate with you, and all that's part of our relationship with you guys. And it does not come at an expense to your compensation. So you get all the goodies and all the perks, but you don't have to take a haircut. So I don't know if it could get much better.
Yeah. Again, I want to be clear. You still have the resources like you learned last week, of Back Nine for life insurance, but Bill's expertise is particularly in the space of LTC hybrids, and not for you out there that are selling hybrids as a long-term care solution as much as are offering a hybrid as part of a financial planning, a better picture. That's where Phil's real strength is. So you still have the ability to sell One America and Nationwide through us, but all the other hybrids you can sell through Phil, and you can go through Phil as far as what would be the best recommendation for that client. And if you sell those products, again, Phil's involved. If Phil's involved, then he's part of the plan, and if he's not, then you just submit it directly to us, and you'll be fine. So again, Phil is an extra added bonus, and that's why we consider him a strategic partner. So I want to encourage you to talk with him, but again, I'm not trying to discourage you from talking to Back Nine or Quad Power or anyone else when it comes to the hybrids. And I'm not discouraging you from putting the One America and the Nationwide business through us, unless, again, you feel you need Phil's help on the case. So, Phil, we're glad you're out there. And we'll see him. We have a bunch of new people on this call, so maybe you'll get some additional phone calls and people building relationships with you.
For sure. And the last thing I'll mention too is we're a full service BGA. I know you guys have existing relationships. Our job is to earn your relationship. It's not assume that we're just gonna have it. So we have to work hard for you. But we do offer life, long-term care, and annuity services. So planning is my expertise. There are some opportunities, when you're getting into some of these carriers, they have some really good. Some of your younger clients, there's some life insurance carriers that have some really good long-term care riders that we might propose as well. So, we kind of look at the whole picture and come up with a plan. My job is not to sell a product. It's to build a plan and find a solution. So, but we have access to that, and we can get you appointed and get you paid and make your client very, very happy and help your business grow. So, no solutions off the table with us.
Well, thank you again, Phil, and thanks for being
Appreciate
there.
it.
It's an added service. And again, in the past, before we merged with NAIS, we had such a person on our staff that did this. But we were very happy to hear that such a person, such a resource existed when we merged with NAIS, because again, these can become complicated at times, and it helps to have an expert that you can count on to be there for you. So, okay, Phil, appreciate you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Now, we have a lot of different strategic partners. I mean, the FPS agents from past know this already. And they run the gamut from every which way. Now, last week I talked to you about Amada and LTC News, and hopefully some of you had a chance to check those things out as resources for you. I can tell you that I used Amada this last week. I had a client call me, and his mother, or actually it was his mother-in-law, had fallen and broken a hip. And he called me saying, can you help us? We're trying to get her care, right? So she wasn't the policyholder, but the policyholder called me and said, what can you do? And I referred them to Amada, and Amada is going out there to do a free evaluation of her situation and make recommendations as to the best kind of care she get, with the hope that they're going to win the home care business if they do. So again, I can't tell you how much a difference it makes when you have something in your toolkit where you can make a difference, especially at claim time with your clients, even if it's not for them. This was his mother, or his mother-in-law. So again, take full advantage of these strategic partners. One of our strategic partners that we started with about a year and a half, 2 years ago, is Harry and David. In wanting to show more value to our clients, some of the agents kept saying, I want to be able to send something as a thank you, or send something at the holidays or birthdays or something like that. And I have other people that I work with that I want to be able to send something to. Well, we don't get a piece of this or anything. We just cut a deal with Harry and David where we have our own account executive. Her name is Stacy Anderson. They pass on a 20% discount to all of our specialists, all of you. And that's on top of their already, if they run specials or sales, whatever, your 20% comes off the top of that, as well as whatever they put on sale. So it can really be some savings. A few of you use it regularly. I get confirmations each time somebody sends something out. And I can tell you it's extraordinarily appreciated by your clients, and Christmas time or holiday times by the people you might send it to. And you're way below the what the retail price would be if you wanted to go direct to Harry and David. So by going through Stacy and using this, you can use it for whatever purpose you want. You get a 20% discount. They at times they'll advertise to you additional discounts they're offering. And again, you combine that with the free shipping that we get and everything, and you're off to the races. So things that would cost more than $100 end up costing like $50, $60 most times when you get done with it. So it's another strategic partner that we have. Stacy is your contact person. If you want to reach out to her, all the information is here. You'll have it in the link with the recording too. Okay. And the third strategic partner that I wanted to introduce you to, at least from a high distance here, is Aegis. Aegis is our partner when it comes to worksite cases. So if you're ever out in the marketplace and you have somebody that you think would make a good worksite, and I want to distinguish between worksite and executive carve-out. You got a dental office, a lawyer's office, a doctor's office that has 15, 20 associates. If you're going to run a case like that, that's probably going to be an executive carve-out case, not a true worksite case. But if you do run across an association or a worksite opportunity, we can go to Aegis for you. You can work directly with Aegis, and you're going to find that you're going to be much, 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 much more effective using and partnering with Aegis. Now, well, the way it works is you bring Aegis the group or the company that you want to set up the case for, and they'll go in and set it up, and they will do all the work for you, from the C-suite presentations to the actual enrolling to the implementation and delivering and everything else, and you'll get 50% of the comp. You don't have to do anything but be there. Why has it become so much more effective? Because I can't tell you how much politics go into these worksite cases. I've seen time after time producers go after this kind of business, really thinking they've got themselves something substantial on their hands, and when it gets to the 11th hour, it gets turned over to the chairman of the board's son-in-law or something like that. Don't put yourself in that position. This is an entirely different species, the worksite. So partner with somebody who really knows it, who has a staff of people who do it every single day, and you'll find that 50% of something is a whole lot more than 100% of nothing. So just to know it's a strategic partner, and you can take full advantage of it. All right, last week we heard from Cigna. They promised to set up a separate webinar just for you to train them on their products, cross-selling their Cigna portfolio, and they have. It's scheduled for March 7th at 10 a.m., 10 to 11. The invitation for this will be attached to the email that comes out with the recording. And they're supposed to set up a second separate webinar. And I'm waiting to get that invitation, but I'll forward that to you when I can. But write down March 7th. You're going to have an opportunity to have an exclusive webinar just with Cigna, teaching you their whole portfolio and how to cross-sell in their portfolio. Aetna, who was supposed to be our guest today, also went ahead and set up a webinar for Thursday, March 14th, to talk about the Aetna portfolio and how to cross-sell it. So again, you're going to hear from these carriers briefly on our Friday calls, just to have an idea of what direction they're going. Like last week, we found out that Cigna is developing its own short-term care product that's supposed to be out in the second quarter of next year. And you'll find out about those things, or what's new at Aetna, et cetera. You would have found that out today. However, the real heart of all this is going to these product portfolio trainings and really understanding how others are using their portfolio to cross-sell and to build cases where you're selling a plan, not a product. All right, you'll have the invite for the plan. So they weren't, or they're not postponing this training they have scheduled for the 14th. Just their ability to be on the call today. All right, we're getting inundated of late since the beginning of the year with newsletters from the carriers. Now, I showed you two up front from Aetna, but there's a news carrier from Cigna. There's a newsletter from GTL, Manhattan Life. I get one from Golden Care, which again gives you specific information to the Manhattan Life products that you won't find in any one place anywhere else. I send them so they get posted on the microsites so you can get to them anytime you want. But most of you should be seeing this as an appointed agent with them. If you're not, though, I don't want to take the chance that you're missing it, because in every case, I'm finding there's really good, useful information you should store away or save on your computer so you can use it when you're representing those products. So here was one, and this is going to be our featured carrier next week is GTL, where they're offering a whole digital brochure bookshelf. So if I click on this, it'll open up and you'll see there's every single brochure for every one of their products, all in one place. So if you're looking to, talk about a specific product like the Recovery Cash product or the home care product or whatever it is you're going to offer from it, here's a separate brochure for each one of those things that you can provide to your clients. So these are the kind of things I think you can find helpful. We're going to encourage every one of our carriers to continue to develop links like this so that we can give it to you as a resource. And again, that's why you want to read these newsletters when they come out, because they have all this information in there. You're not just going to find consolidated anywhere else. All right. Manhattan Life. Manhattan Life, too, has a newsletter that came out this week on the OmniFlex product. And they had a separate bulletin that came out about the newsletter. It's called the Manhattan Life Espresso, by the way. They had a separate email that came out on the short-term applications for Manhattan Life and OmniFlex, in which I just thought that was going to open. All right. Manhattan Life, there you go. You'll see it attached. Basically, they've eliminated or took away the requirement that you have to answer some of the health questions. They're now optional, so you can, or some of the prescription med questions are optional. So when you look at this email, when you see the newsletter from them, you'll now see that Manhattan Life has made it easier to submit their short-term care applications. Right, so stuff you should be on top of, and again, that's why we want to include them. Now, this is what I was talking about just a few minutes ago. We have developed just for us a link that shows you all the information on everything you'd want to know about the OmniFlex and the Manhattan Life short-term care product, all in one place. So you keep this link handy. I'll click on it real quick and see if it opens up for you so you can see it. There you go. This is available to you on the Microsoft, and you can see every single resource you could ever need for an OmniFlex or the short-term home health care product is here. Now, they update this pretty regularly. So you just keep the link and they'll update it and you'll be able to go there and get whatever is new. Here's something that was new. This is them sharing with you the short-term care. And again, I showed you this last week. I want to make sure you take a look at this. This is the one chart that I know of that consolidates or identifies where every different home health care or short-term care product is and in what states they're in. So you should have this handy so you know what you can present and who could be a potential solution for you in these states. A really valuable tool. So anyway, it's all here for you, all kinds of other things that you need. It's all part of this playbook. You have the link, you'll have this, but this is something you want to have nearby because it shows you what you can get in every state, right? See, in Virginia, you can get these two, or in Wisconsin, you can get these three, etc. It's important to know exactly which product you can sell where, and there is some coverage that you can take full advantage of, so you should. Again, both those links are valuable. You'll get them with the recording. Also, Mutual of Omaha. They are our traditional long-term care carrier. They're the largest in the business. They put out a newsletter called the Moo Express every week. In there, there's always a section on long-term care. Again, I assume you're getting some of this. I don't know if you're getting it all. I don't know if you're opening it at all. But this is my way of saying there's some valuable information in all these newsletters. Take the time to take a quick look. Okay. I sent out an email last week that we're going to do an advanced extended care training. And I'm missing an N in extended instead of it's two D's there. Extended care training. And we are. And we've had, let me see, as of this morning, we've had 1, 5, 6, 7, 8 people already sign up for it. I'm going to limit the participation rate, so we're getting close. But if you want to participate in the extended care training, we're going to, again, hold that the last week of February. It's going to be broken into 8 2-hour sessions, following things that you see there, from how the best way to represent this on a virtual platform, to how to introduce yourself and establish yourself as an interviewer or field underwriter in the space, not a salesperson. You're not a insurance salesperson. You're an interviewer, field underwriter, because again, you have to qualify for these products, and it makes perfect sense for them to have to sell themselves to you. We will actually provide you with a flip chart that we've proven that works effectively in the field. And for those of you who've been with us for a while, knows that you already have one, but again, we'll continue to update it. And we have a template that'll be branded to North American Insurance Services, so you can put it on that template. How to decide which is the best carrier and the best plan, how to design that plan, how to make sure the plan you design is affordable. The single most important factor in whether or not a person moves forward in making an application with you is that the coverage that you design for them is affordable. We'll have a session just about that. Answers to objections, whether it be on the phone or with the client during an interview. We'll show you exactly how to tackle anything that might come up. And again, as an interviewer, field underwriter, the objections simply aren't the same, because it's just part of the process. But again, we'll get into all that during the training. How to best take the electronic apps, the software tools that we make available to you that sets you apart and heads and shoulders over your competition. And then some of the marketing ideas and lead generation ideas that we're working on that we have available to us through vendors and everything. All that will be part of this 4-day training. I will record the sessions. If you're registered, you'll get the copy of the recording, etc. And we'll make them available on the microsites. There's also a YouTube channel. I didn't know this until this last week, but every one of these recordings, after I send them out to you, are also available to you on the YouTube channel that NAIS has. So if you go to NAIS YouTube, you'll find that you'll be able to see not only this meeting, but all the other meetings that are held throughout the week that were recorded and available to you. So something, as I said, I just learned about, so you can take full advantage of that. And you can go to the Facebook page, and they'll also they'll drive you to where you can find these recordings. So if you're thinking about you want to attend, let me know as soon as possible so I can get you on the list of people that will be part of this training on the 26th to the 29th. All right, again, same thing. I mentioned this last week, but it's worth mentioning again. The demand to come to the conference has really taken off. We had 3 people last week sign up, and I was very happy to see that. The conference is in the middle of July, July 15th and 16th, here at the Star in Texas, about 5-10 minutes away from the NAIS office. Again, this is a very worthwhile conference. All the carriers are signing up to be sponsors. We have carriers that are coming to be sponsors that don't go to any other conference. The agenda is going to be full of very useful information. You'll be able to meet with all the carrier reps while you're there, etc. All kinds of perks for those people that attend. And again, it's $100 to attend. It's $200 if you want to be a VIP. And from everything I shared with you last week, it's just getting better and better to be a VIP. So I highly encourage you to do so. You'll get a tour of the Star. You'll get an extra dinner, and get a cocktail party at the private club of the Dallas Cowboys. So And there's going to be contests and everything else to help offset your cost to come. So if you want to stay at a hotel that's walking distance from the Omni, which is where this is held, and it'd be a lesser cost, they also have lesser expensive accommodations available to you. But again, if you sign up and you get involved with the contest and produce, you should be able to offset most of your costs to get there. All right, so if you haven't already, just go to that link and register for the conference. It's on the website as well. It's on, and it's on the Facebook page. All right. I didn't get Lori's numbers, but I know she wrote business. I know that Alita actually wrote an OmniFlex policy, not a True Freedom policy. That was last week's number, so I apologize. I am at the mercy, unfortunately, of our email system, my email box where I got Alita's source of sale form got wiped out on this. And I know Monica wrote an OmniFlex for 3,700. Guys, I can't report your production because I have no place to find it unless you send it to me. So please, if you wrote business in the week prior to our call, send me an email so I can recognize you and we can celebrate the fact that you have. This is how you do it. This is the source of sale form. It's a simple, easy form. Here's the link to it. All you do is put in the name and the name of the prospect or the client, the applicant, and the amount of premium and the carrier, and you send it. It's simple to do. And I thank Alita and Monica for doing that this week. I want you to get in the habit of using this form because it allows us to track it. I have no other way of seeing it as of yet. I'm working on ways to get it done, but I need your cooperation. So, because there's nothing we like to do more than to celebrate you and to celebrate your success. So please let us know when you write business. We want, and it doesn't have to be extended care business, any kind of business. Let me know. We want to celebrate you. You're part of this team. That's you're an important part of this team. That's one of the things we can do to bring recognition to your efforts. So please let us know. All right, I'm going to hold a phone jam tomorrow. Now, last Saturday, it was almost, no, it wasn't almost all, it was all ex-FPS agents. We call it a phone jam. It really isn't. We originally was designed to help drive your activity in setting appointments for the coming week, but it's become much more than that. And we will use the same link as today for tomorrow's call. Now that we've gotten the bugs on this platform figured out, all you do is just come on the same link tomorrow, and we'll have the call. It's only a half hour, and we'll talk about anything you want to talk about. This is not my call. This is yours. You come, you bounce off ideas. The people will help you when they've run into the same problem or same challenges. You ask questions, especially questions you might have from this webinar that you didn't get to ask or whatever, or after you look at the email and you have some additional questions. Come on Saturday morning, 8:30 Eastern time, 7:30 Central. That's what and 5:30 Pacific, 6:30 Mountain. And you'll be surprised. Every week I get multiple people from the West Coast. So 5:30 in the morning isn't too onerous for them. You can certainly make time to get on at 8:30 or 7:30, again, for a half an hour to get your head right and get your questions answered, because you set the agenda for this call. This is what most of you missed last week because we could not. Oh, now it's not opening. This has come out to you several times this last week. This is the schedule for when every NIS webinar is held. Every day of the week, there's a webinar from NIS. 2 days, I think there's 2 webinars from a different channel. So if you want to learn about ACH, you can get on the ACH call. If you want to learn about life insurance, you can get on the life insurance call. And Medicare, there's a couple different Medicare calls. So again, you'll have the link. You see it on the Facebook page. If you're not part of the Facebook page, please go to NAS's Facebook page and ask to join, and they'll send you an invite. You have to be invited to join because it's a private group. But I see great information on there almost daily where people are sharing things that they're doing and how they're growing their business. So you want to be active with these things. And this link is there. You'll be able to open it. For whatever reason, it's not letting me open it here, but you'll see it and you'll be able to take full advantage of it. All right. So we always have a part of this call where we ask you what kind of observation you made or you had this last week from the field that you think is valuable and worth sharing with others. And before I ask you that, I want to share one with you up front. I want to go back to what Phil Hung shared with you about Concourse. You have access to all the hybrid products on the market available to you through Back9. So if you're appointed with Back9, and if you haven't gotten appointed with Back9, all those products are there. Phil's strength is strictly when you have complicated cases, especially in the financial planning space. I don't want you to start to look toward Phil to help you with what is just a simple solution for long-term care. Hybrids are on the uprise, on the, are being sold more than ever because they come with guarantees, because the financial planners are much more comfortable with the hybrid concept when they're managing other people's money. They're easier to qualify for. They're giving out more benefits than ever because of the rising interest rates and the like. So I want to strongly encourage you to do that. But you have, through us, a contract available through Nationwide and OneAmerica that pays you direct at the highest possible levels. We negotiated when we moved over here a contract with both those companies through a third party that they have that gets the comp that's only given out to organizations that do $80 million or more. You're not going to get paid that comp through any other hierarchy, but you got to be appointed with us for the Nationwide and OneAmerica products to get it. So you can be dual appointed with Phil's group, but don't use it when you don't need somebody for a high level case. Use it when you have somebody where the case could be more complicated and you need that kind of help. Because again, I said Abe had nothing but good things to say to him, but I don't want you to in any way take away from the opportunity that we put in place for you when we sign these contracts with Nationwide and OneAmerica to deliver the comp that you can only get when your collective organization is doing $80 million or more in business. So I wanted you to make sure you understood how to use Phil. So that's my observation of the field. Anybody else have any observations from the field last week that they want to share? Unmute yourself and speak up. No? Nothing came up last week? No unusual circumstances or scenarios or successes in the field? I know this is new for you, so I will give you, hopefully over the weeks ahead, you'll start to think of these types of things when we get to this and start to chime in when you have something you think worth sharing. All right, and then the other best place to do that is on the Saturday morning call. Okay, let's talk about, we usually close the week, by the way, or we close these calls with something motivational. I haven't done it the last few weeks because of so much information we had to share with you, but I want to get back to it. It's not long. But every week we try to come up with a message that will help you bring a new aspect to your practice on how you're mentally approaching your business as opposed to product knowledge and sales skills and things like that. When everybody remembers the movie Rocky, right? There's a famous scene within Rocky where they try to get Rocky to catch a chicken, right? Try to chase a chicken, and no matter what he does, Rocky can't seem to catch the chicken for the longest time. The chicken's smarter than him. Same thing's true with rabbits and squirrels. Very hard to catch. And people thought that the reason they were trying to get Mick was trying to get Rocky to catch a chicken was because it would improve his speed. In fact, he says, you'll be faster than grease lightning, if you remember the movie or in the scene. All right. But the real reason, And that is the old-fashioned way that they used to train boxers. The real reason that you chase a chicken or chase a squirrel, chase a rabbit, is it helps build your ability to focus. When you lose your momentum in building your business, almost always it's because of a lack of focus. And I don't know if you were aware, but the focus had been turned into a what do you call it? When the letters of focus still stood for uh, the words that make you be better at what focus is supposed to mean. So the F stood for follow, the O for one, the C for course, the U for until, and the S for successful. Follow one course until successful. That's focus. So many of us are multitaskers. So many of us get caught up in all these different things that we have to attend to every day, and all we're doing is putting out fires that we lose focus. You all know that this is true. One course, one path, one goal, one action is going to make you much more effective than trying to be everything to everybody and all over the place. But it's hard time to resist that. Because it's all coming at you, and you want to be able to be responsive. Unfortunately, most of us end up being reactive, and there's a huge difference between being responsive and being reactive. And focus is the key to making that distinction. So there are things that I'm going to call the 4 Ds of killing focus. They are: 1, distractions, all these different things that come up during the day that will take your attention somewhere else. There's distortions. We tend to take things that we have coming at us and distort their importance. We tend to start thinking that we immediately have to react to what's just happened to us, instead of understanding where its real place is in our focus to build our agency. So again, you have to be careful how you interpret that stuff that comes in. Then there's the destruction that comes as a result of trying to be all over the place all the time. And if you're going to react to your business piece by piece, minute by minute, you're gonna find out that you're just not going to be as accomplished and as successful as you originally stayed or originally hoped to be. And then the ultimate problem is disaster, and that's because you end up running around in circles and getting nothing done. So being focused is important, so that you can take the real advantage of what chasing a chicken or chasing a rabbit was supposed to be all about. So here's the secret to all this: do one thing at a time and nothing else until that one thing is caught or done. The other stuff can wait. If it's distracting you from the main thing that you need to get done, stay focused on that, and that will lead to success. The main thing to keep them is to keep the main thing. All right. And if you do, you will find ongoing, consistent, unlimited success. Focus. It works. Promise you. All right. Anybody have any questions at all about any things that we discussed today, or anything else that's going on out there? Unmute yourself and have at it. No? Well, I hope you find these calls helpful. It's 45 minutes into the call. Again, we recorded it. You'll have that. You'll have all a lot of the attachments of the newsletters and everything for you to look at when you get that here in the next within the next hour. Tomorrow we'll have the phone jam, same link as today. Just come on the same link, and it won't be a webinar. It'll just be a conference call, but we'll have a conversation about whatever it is you want to talk about. I encourage you, especially the newer agents, to join in. And that's basically what we have for you today. Again, anybody have any questions? It's quiet. All right. Well, go create a great day, everyone, and hope to talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.